Hi, everyone, and welcome back to Lessons Learned. My name is Laura Wolpert, and today we are going to discuss solo travel. Solo travel is something that I've always been really passionate about. It may have fallen into my lap by chance, but it became something that I found extremely fulfilling. And as the world starts to open up again and we begin to plan our next adventures, I want to make sure that if it's a solo trip that you're about to embark on, that you have the tools that'll help it be stress-free, safe, and fulfilling. So let's talk my top 5 tips for solo travel. They may seem like logic to some and news to others, so let's just get going. Number 1, if you're prepared for the big things, you won't stress over the little things. I always want to ensure that the big items are checked off my list. I'm, of course, going to ensure that I have a flight and my tickets and my identification. But I'm also going to make sure, long before the trip, that I've checked my destination to ensure that I don't need, or if I do need, travel visas, I get those ahead of time. I'm also going to ensure that my housing is booked and my ground transportation is covered. If those major elements are taken care of for the duration of my trip, then I know that I can easily take one day at a time when planning how to see the sights or experience the life in my chosen destination. My tip number 2 is to reduce as much stress as possible. And the best way to do that is to try to understand your own personal travel personality. Are you a planner? Do you like to wing things? Do you just want to sit in a cafe and people watch? Understand your travel personality and plan for it. If you're someone who needs a calendar and an agenda and wants to have tickets purchased ahead of time, etc., make sure that you dedicate the time ahead of time to do those things. If the idea of an agenda and a calendar gives you stress and anxiety like it does me, then make sure that you have those big things checked off the list that we talked about before, and that you are daydreaming about your trip and how you might be able to envision what you're going to do each day. Understand your own personal travel personality, and you'll be able to eliminate stress ahead of time so as not to regret what you did or didn't do in preparation for your trip. Tip number 3. This one I have to admit I have mastered, and my friends are often asking me to help them with or trying to emulate. Pack light. Doesn't matter how long you're going for or where you're going. Oftentimes, we wear the same 3 pairs of pants and the same 3 tops in a different combination for the duration of our trip. Focus on making sure that you have simple, rearrangeable pieces that can mix and match and will make you feel comfortable. We always do laundry and then wear the same things over and over again, even at home when we have our full closet. Why would we assume travel would be any different? Imagine how much less stressful it will be just to have a simple carry-on and your backpack. It makes life through the airport, in the plane, through TSA, all of it so much easier. You will be thanking yourself for leaving those bulky shoes and sweatpants back at home when you know you're simply going to rotate your favorite pair of jeans with a different top every single day. Tip number 4. This one may seem like pure logic, but you'd be surprised how many people do it anyways. Leave your unnecessary valuables at home. I know that you love to show off that diamond solitaire or those beautiful earrings that you inherited from your grandmother. But trust me, you'll be much happier knowing that they are safe at home waiting for your return. We are already a little bit of a target when we're traveling. There's no way around it. We're outside of our comfort zone and a little distracted by trying to make it all work. Don't draw any more attention to yourself than necessary by wearing something that you know will catch someone's eye. Stay safe. Leave the jewelry at home. Now, I know for some of you, tip number 5 is going to be the hardest to do, but it's the one that makes me feel most alive. Tip number 5 is talk to strangers. When we're traveling, we open ourselves up in a way that we never would. We are a fish out of water. We are vulnerable, but we're also more confident and free than we are in our everyday lives. We're not preoccupied by stress or what we need to do the next day or what we owe somebody, some timeline. We are there allowed to be ourselves in our truest form, and it is extremely freeing. And opening yourselves up to talk to a stranger, to sit at that bar and let somebody strike up a conversation, to sign up for that free walking tour around the city of Berlin and meet a wonderful human being, to open yourself up to meeting people of different backgrounds and different cultures and finding common ground is one of the most exhilarating and enlightening experiences you'll ever have. I promise you, you'll never regret making new friends as you travel solo. Most people, especially women, are often very surprised when I tell them how often I travel solo and the places that I've been. But I simply follow these 5 rules, and I'm able to travel safely and freely and come back more enriched than I could ever imagine. It is the most freeing feeling in the world to experience the world and all of the cultures and beauty that surrounds us that we just imagine most of the time. I hope very soon that we can be on any plane headed to any destination that we want. In the meantime, I hope you're able to absorb these tips and be able to prepare to use them for your next trip. Tell me, where are you going? I'm planning a trip to Florida, Puerto Rico, and back to London. London was my first destination outside of the United States, and I did it by moving there, having never been. It was the start of this travel solo journey for me. And I'll never, ever regret it. And I'll be eternally grateful for the opportunity. And I hope that you all find the opportunity to do so. I'm not saying you have to hop on a plane and go to a country that doesn't speak your language and uses different money. You can simply start by flying to a state you've never been to here in the United States. Or if you're not from the US, taking a train or flying to another portion of Europe or wherever you are in the world. Solo travel is not reserved just for me or anyone. It's for everyone. The world is for everyone. And we're all going to be a lot better off if we experience as much of it as possible and find the similarities between us all and focus on those instead of our meager differences. Love to you all. I hope we're able to see each other very soon.